Hey everyone, Gary Elysium's here. I'm back with part 8 and the final part of my complete vinyl collection video. If you have not already, please go hit that subscribe button. Not only will you get great updates every time I post a video, including these complete vinyl collection videos, like I did my complete CD collection videos, but you also help support my channel, which I greatly appreciate. And last one of part 7, we ended with Born to Run from Bruce Springsteen. So with that being said, Springsteen, we're in the S's, and we're going to continue with the S's and obviously go through Z. And for those of you watching for the first time, well, I suggest you go back and watch from part 1 all the way through to this part 8. But I have everything in alphabetical and chronological order. So it's alphabetical by the artist and chronological order meaning the year the album was released. All right, so I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to pull the rest of the S's out. And like I always say, everything is original pressing unless I say otherwise. All right, first up, The River, Bruce Springsteen's 1980 album. Really decent album, double album. I think this is the first album to feature Steven Van Zandt. Yeah, I believe this is the first time. I don't remember right now if he was on Darkness on the Edge of Town, but I believe The River is the first one. Oh, that was the last time from Bruce. Thought I had Born in the USA, but I guess I don't. Next up, great album, very underrated. Billy Squier, Don't Say No, his sophomore solo release. Just amazing record. Billy Squier, I just feel is one of those very underrated artists. A lot of people know his songs, but I feel like he's not as much of a household name as he should be. This album is amazing. Opens up with In the Dark, Into the Stroke, My Kind of Lover. You Know What I Like. I mean, just those 4 songs to begin are amazing. Ends with 2 Days Gone. Side 2, Lonely as the Night, that opens it up. Amazing. I Need You in the title track. Don't Say No. Great album. Next, we have Rod Stewart's Greatest Hits. This is in really good condition. This is basically his mid to late 70s stuff. Maggie May is on here, but First Cut Deepest is great. You're in My Heart, Tonight's the Night, Hot Legs, Do You Think I'm Sexy? So, not my favorite Rod Stewart period. Not really in the mid to late 70s Rod Stewart, but I do love the early stuff. All right, next up, this is a 180-gram repress of Stone Temple Pilots' sophomore album, Purple. Great album from Stone Temple Pilots. Might be my favorite. Sometimes I like this a little more than Core. But this is, I'm not sure of the year. I believe this is like a 2015, 2016, I want to say. Pressing I got. But this was before they remastered Purple and reissued it for the 20th anniversary, 25th anniversary, whatever they did there. Next up, this is a repress. This is 180 gram of Iggy and the Stooges, Raw Power. One of my favorite albums of all time. It's up there as one of the greatest classic rock albums, one of the greatest proto-punk albums, one of the greatest, well, this is before punk, but I feel like this is like the beginnings of punk. I mean, this is on Sundazed Records. Doesn't have the, I believe this is like a 2014 pressing. 2014. Get the great insert there. Yeah, I mean, this album is amazing. It wraps up those 5-star trio of albums that the Stooges did, starting with the self-titled debut, Funhouse, and finally ending with 1973's Raw Power, which is here. Classic cover, mixed by David Bowie. Amazing album, so good. Next up, we have Styx 2. There was I guess a hype sticker there that was ripped off. Styx 2, obviously, by the title, as you guessed, this is their sophomore album before pre-Tommy Shaw, Dennis DeYoung, main guy on organ and vocals. JY is on this. Lady is the big hit off of here. Really cool album. Features Styx with the hard rock sound, but a little more proggy. And then I have the Grand Illusion. Grand Illusion does feature Tommy Shaw. I believe it is the first song with Tommy Shaw. Released in 1977. This is one of their biggest sellers. The title track, which opens it, great song. And the Fooling Yourself, Superstars, and then side one ends with Come Sail Away, which is arguably Styx is probably their biggest song. Side two, Miss America, Man in the Wilderness, Castle Walls, and finally ends with the great grand finale. Next up, another 180 gram repress. This is Sublime, Robin the Hood. Their 1994 sophomore release. This is a double LP. The LP there kind of just slid out. Unfortunately, I don't own 40 Ounce to Freedom, which I do need to get. Cool gatefold there. So 40 Ounce to Freedom. I know there was one out there with that venticular cover. That's probably the one I'd want to grab. Overall, decent album from Sublime. There's some really good songs in here, but there's a lot of filler, a lot of inserts of comedy skits and talking, things like that. And I also have the self-titled debut album, and sadly their last album with Brad Knoll, a masterpiece, great album. Again, this is a double LP. There's the gatefold. One of the greatest albums released in the 90s. As you can see, it's double LP. This came out in the age of CD, so features 17 songs on it, which is why it's split over 2 LPs. But yeah, man, such a great album. So sad that Brad passed away before this was even released, because I mean, their popularity is huge now, and I feel like after that record, they could have wrote some really decent stuff and been all over the radio again. All right, I pulled out the teats. Put them over here. First one up, 38 Special Forces. Great album. This is the album that really broke the band through. Well, the band was already pretty popular with Hold On Loosely, but this came after that. Features Caught Up in You. Great track from 38 Special, one of their most famous songs, and I would say Caught Up in You is my favorite song from 38 Special. Really cool, hard rocking southern rock band, featuring Donnie Van Zant, which is a brother of Ronnie Van Zant, and Johnny Van Zant, obviously of Leonard Skinner. And then another one from 38 Special, I have Tour de Force. I'm not that familiar with this album. This is in really good shape, but I don't really listen to this one a whole lot. I basically just listen to the first 5. A really cool cover with the barn burning there, and you see the horses running. I'm a big fan of westerns and things like that, so cool cover there. And I'm not that familiar with this record, so I can't really say that much about it, so I should probably listen to it a lot more. Next up, we have the debut from George Thorogood and Destroyers. I mean, this is in like very good condition, almost mint condition, I'd say. Features his huge hit cover of One Bourbon, One Scotch, One Beer. This is basically a lot of blues covers on here. Madison Blues, Kind Hearted Woman, Delaware Slide, which ends it's a really cool song. Of course, George Thorogood from Delaware, sister state from where I grew up in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. Really cool album, George Thorogood. And next up, I have George Thorogood Live. There you see the special price, $6.99. Still has a shrink on it, but it is opened. No, I did not buy it for $6.99. I think I actually bought it for like $1. But this is in really great shape. Cool live albums, got all his hits on there. Obviously they're covers, but they were big hits for him. Who Do You Love? I Drink Alone, One Bourbon, One Scotch, One Beer. Madison Blues on us again, Bad to Blown. Skies Crying, Reelin' and Rockin', Chuck Berry cover. Great album. Next we have the debut EP from Tool, Opiate, or Opiate, however you want to say it. I like to say Opiate. Really cool album. I like this a lot from Tool. This is more of a hard rock, kind of a grungy alternative sound to it. Not as proggy as they would turn into, that prog metal sound. Only 5 tracks, but overall the EP clocks in, over 20 minutes. And there is a secret song on here. I forget the name of the secret song. And I'm on the CD. I'm not sure It does, I haven't listened to this in quite some time, but it does look like it is included on the vinyl. Unlisted though. Really cool. There's like a mixture of live stuff and studio stuff on here. Really cool album from Tool. And the cool thing about this is you can actually find this for under 10 bucks, which I think is such a steal to find any brand new vinyl nowadays for under 10 bucks. And especially a band like as well regarded as Tool. And again, this is a 180 repress if I didn't say it already. And for, you know, even though it's an EP, I guess that's why it's a lower price, but a really cool album. I like it a lot. I do recommend that. Next up, we have Traffic's self-titled album, their sophomore album. And this is the last one to feature Dave Mason, who had a huge hit off here with Feeling Alright. You can all join in. Another Dave Mason composition, which is really cool. Pearly Queen is great. Features Steve Winwood's vocals. Amazing. Really cool album. See the little Traffic sign there. A little worn, but cool stuff. Another one I have from Traffic. If you collect vinyl, I'm sure you've seen this in every record store. The Low Spark of the High Heeled Boys features that amazing 12-minute title track. It's got that cool cutout there. This is released towards the end of Traffic's career. I believe this is like 71, I want to say. Rock and Roll Stew, another great track up here, which opens up the second side. And last one I have in tease, Twisted Sister, Stay Hungry. Really good shape. The album that really broke Twisted Sister through, made them all over MTV, all over the radio with the huge hit We're Not Gonna Take It. I Wanna Rock was another big hit. Just amazing album overall. I love it. To be honest, We're Not Gonna Take It and I Wanna Rock is probably my two least favorite songs off here, which just goes to show you how great the rest of the album is. Like Horatoria, The Price is amazing, Don't Let Me Down, The Beast, SMF. Great album, Twisted Sister. And in my opinion, they never really followed that up. I think they kind of went downhill after that. They gradually went uphill, hit the peak with Stay Hungry, and then not too much after that. Alright, with the U's, we have Uriah Heep, Sweet Freedom. Early 70 albums for Uriah Heep. Again, another band that's very underrated, I feel like. Uriah Heep is a very, very heavy hard rock band, and they kind of don't really get mentioned with the early stages of heavy metal. You always hear about Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, Alice Cooper, but Uriah Heep's never really thrown in there, and I think they should be. Next up, U2's debut album, Boy. This is original. From 1980. This is not a 180 grain repress. There you can see, I know it was remastered with that cover there, the Boy. I think this cover is definitely better. Although a little weird. But I knew it all my life from this cover. More of a new wave sound for U2. Features I Will Follow, their first hit song. And also have The Great War from U2. The album that really put U2 on the map. Sunday Bloody Sunday, New Year's Day, Two Hearts Beat as One is on here. Really great tracks. And again, this is in really good shape. Actually found this at a Goodwill store. You can see the fold out there. There's some lyrics. Not too old a song. Seconds is another great song up here. So this is basically U2 going from kind of a new wave band into, you know, more of a rock band. And which they did do with their sophomore album, October, but I think War was the one that really cemented it. All right, coming in next, we got the V's. You just saw a little sneak there of Vanilla Fudge. Van Halen's amazing debut album, self-titled. You know, nothing more I can say that hasn't been said about this already. Love the picture of David Lee Roth there on the back. Yeah, just one of the greatest debut albums of all time, along with one of the greatest albums of all time. And then we have my favorite VH album, Van Halen 2. So great. Opens up with a cover of Linda Ronstadt's You're No Good. Dance the Night Away. Great ballad. Beautiful Girls is on here. DOA, which is such a hard rocking song. Women in Love. Just an amazing album. Out of Love Again. Next we have Women and Children First. Again, just, I mean, these albums are just flawless with Dave. The Cradle Will Rock, Romeo Delight, Take Your Whiskey Home, Could This Be Magic, Everybody Wants Some. I mean, just that intro. So good. I kind of want to throw them on right now. Fair Warning. Someone strike that poor boy down. Opens up with Mean Street, So This Is Love. I mean, Unchained. I mean, the riff opening to Unchained is arguably one of Eddie's greatest riffs of all time. Unchained, just amazing album. And this is probably his most technical guitar work. Such a great album. Then we have Diver Down, which features more covers than usual. Great album. I love it. A lot of people don't like it as much, but I think it's amazing. Opens up with The Kinks, Where Have All the Good Times Gone? Intruder and the Oh Pretty Woman, the cover of Roy Orbison's song. Dance in the Streets is amazing. The instrumental Cathedral. Happy Trails, which ends it. Big Bad Bill's Sweet William Now, such a cool song. Little Guitars, probably the best song off this album. Next up, last album they would do with Dave before he would leave the band, embark on a solo career. Obviously, he would come back later on with Different Kind of Truth. Sammy would take over, but this is 1984. At this time, Van Halen was the biggest band in the world. Jump, the first single off here, was all over the place. Hot for Teacher was probably Eddie's greatest guitar work, in my opinion. Panama's on here, another hit. Drop Dead Legs, I'll Wait, another synthy metal song, hard rock. Amazing album. Another really good album, 5150. This is the debut of Sammy Hagar, or Van Hagar if you want to say it. Not as hard and heavy as Dave stuff, but very catchy. There's a lot of singles off of this. Dreams is on here. Why Can't This Be Love? 5150 is amazing. That's probably the heaviest song on here. Summer Nights, Best of Both Worlds. Great album. Then we have OU812 in the shrink there, but it is split open. Again, another really good album from Sammy. Well, I wouldn't say it's the best album with the Sammy Hagar era. Cabo Wabo's decent. When It's Love's obviously great. Finish What You Started's good. The cover of Apolitical Blues, which is a Little Feat song, is really cool. But overall, this album kind of doesn't really capture my attention as much as 5150. And lastly, in the V's, we have Vanilla Fudge's amazing debut album. Basically, it's just a psychedelic masterpiece of covers like the Beatles' Ticket to Ride, People Get Ready, which was from Curtis Mayfield and the Impressions, She's Not There, which is originally written by the Zombies, Bang Bang, which was a Sonny Bono song. Losing My Childhood's just a instrumental. You Keep Me Hanging On, the version that the Supremes did. This version here is just amazing. And ends with another Beatles cover, Eleanor Rigby. For those of you that have somehow never heard that album, I suggest you listen to it right away because it's great. I love it. All right, on to the W's. Whitesnake live in the heart of the city. This is early Whitesnake, featuring Mickey Moody, Bernie Marsden on guitars, John Lord from Deep Purple on keyboards, Ian Pace from Deep Purple on drums. Obviously, David Coverdale on vocals. Fool for Your Loving, the early versions on here, which would end up on Fool for Your Loving, I believe, was on 87. Or Slip of the Tongue. I believe it was on the self-titled 87 album. I'm drawing a blank right now. I got all this music knowledge in my head and I sometimes forget it. Produced by the great Martin Birch. The Who, Happy Jack. This is the American version. It was called... Draw another blank. Sorry. A quick one in England. Because it features the first glimpse of a rock opera from Pete Townsend. A Quick One, Miles Away, which I clocks in around 9 minutes. Run Run Run's great on here. Bars to Spider, the great Entwistle song. Whiskey Man, another Entwistle song, is amazing. See My Way is a great song. So Sad About Us, Don't Look Away. Great album from The Who, their sophomore release. Next we have Tommy, my favorite album by The Who. The rock opera masterpiece, 24 tracks spread over 2 LPs, just amazing. I love this album from top to bottom, start to finish. And here we have The Who live at Leeds. It's original with the inserts. So the inserts are basically just facsimiles of stuff from, like here's a poster. That was, I believe, Woodstock. Well, actually, I don't think it was Woodstock because they played, the sun wasn't out when they played. But there is like a contract. There it is. Like a facsimile contract of when they played Woodstock, and just some really cool inserts that come with this, which only came with the original version. The later ones didn't do it, didn't come with it, and you know, just kind of like a manila folder looking thing. It's a very bootleg looking album, and not to mention one of the greatest live albums of all time. But I do prefer the remastered version on CD only because there's like 14 tracks as opposed to 6 that are featured on here. Next up, Who's Next? Another great album. It was up Bob O'Reilly. Full of hits. Bargain, Love A for Keeping's great. And Whistle's My Life's amazing. Song Is Over is a great ballad. Getting in Tune's great. Going Mobile. Behind Blue Eyes, and ends with the amazing Won't Get Fooled Again. Another rock opera, Quadrophenia. Basically tells the story of a teenage mod living in the in England in the 50s. Or early mid 60s, actually, I'm sorry. Features the amazing track Love Reign Over Me. Another double LP set. And the last album to feature Keith Moon, not to be taken away, as you can see on the chair there. Who Are You? Obviously features the huge song Who Are You. Has more of a synthy sound to it. Had Enough, new song 905, Sister Disco, Guitar and Pen. Really good album. And this has a little bit of water damage, so I never got around to replacing it. Face Dances, featuring Kenny Jones on drums to replace Keith Moon. Kenny Jones was from The Faces. You Better You Bet's on this. It's hard. I prefer this over Face Dances. Really good album. Athena's amazing. Eminence Front is just a great epic song featuring Pete's lead vocals. And this is really cool. I love this. Just love this cover art. Hank Williams, 40 Greatest Hits. Obviously, there wouldn't be country music without Hank Williams. To me, he is the godfather, the pioneer of country and western. And just amazing songs of here. Move It On Over, the original version. I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry, amazing. You Win Again, great. Here we have Johnny Winter, another underrated guitarist. His debut album, blues rock guitarist. This is just way ahead of its time, in my opinion. The great Stevie Wonder, with Inner Visions. In my opinion, this is his first real masterpiece. Too High, Visions, Living for the City, which is my all-time favorite Stevie Wonder song. Golden Lady, Higher Ground, and ends with He's Mr. Know-It-All. Great album. And then another great album, Songs in the Key of Life. Just another flawless album. I always thought that the first record on this is just absolutely flawless. The second record I don't feel is as strong, but the first album on this, amazing. All right, let me get through these other ones. I'm talking too much before this goes on too long. Getting into the Y's and a lot of Yes. The Yes album, first album to feature Steve Howe on guitar. Obviously, it's got Seen All Good People. They're a huge hit single. The follow-up, Fragile, amazing album. Probably the Yes' biggest seller, Roundabout. South Side of the Sky is amazing. Long Distance Runabout, really great album. The greatest prog rock album of all time, Close to the Edge, over 3 tracks. I mean, amazing. I mean, the whole side 1, Close to the Edge, side 2 opens up with You and I, and then Siberian Cat 2. Ah, so good. Relayer, Another one of my favorite albums from Yes. I feel like it's very underrated. I think it should be up there with Close to the Edge of Fragile. It's just a really, really good album. And I feel like this is the last great proggy album that Yes would put out. One of those epic albums. And, you know, I believe this is... yeah, 3 tracks also. The Gates Delirium, which takes up the entire side 1. And Sound Chaser and To Be Over finishes up the record with side 2. Relayer, so good, so underrated. Here we are, Going for the One. The kind of a cool futuristic cover there, especially coming out in the late 70s, but you know, unnecessary to see a naked man's ass. Not really into that. Tornado, decent album. Gets a lot of shit, but I like it. Released in the late 70s, 1978. As you can see, the band's image definitely changed. And then we have Yes Shows, which is obviously a live album. Thought it had drama, that's why I was looking at it. So this is basically the second live album that Yes would release after Yes songs. So this features stuff from Relayer, Tornado, and Going for the One. Then we have 90125. In my opinion, I'm just not a big fan of this. Owner of a Lonely Heart, I don't really need to ever hear that again. It's a huge hit for the band. Does not feature Steve Howe on guitar. Instead it has Trevor Rabin. The only 2 original members, even though he's not very original, Chris Squire and John Anderson on vocals. But I don't know, I'm just not a big fan of this album. Neil Young, everybody knows this is Nowhere. It's kind of hard for me to pick a favorite Neil Young album, but it's definitely between this one and the next one. But the jamming on Cowgirl in the Sand and Down by the River is just amazing. And of course it has the hit single, Cinnamon Girl. So this, it changed from day to day, but I think I always go with this as my favorite. After the Gold Rush. Such a great album. I always like the back cover with the jeans there and the belt. It features the huge hit, Southern Man. The title track is amazing. Till the Morning Comes, Only Love Will Break Your Heart, Cripple Creek Ferry, When You Dance Like You Really Love, Don't Let It Bring You Down. Amazing record. Of course, I have Harvest. Might be controversial, but I don't think Harvest is as strong as the 2 albums that came before it. But this is known as like Neil's greatest album or his biggest seller. Probably because it has his biggest hit single with Heart of Gold on there. Old Man's on there, and You Know Damage Done. Next up, the Young Rascals, their debut album. As you can see, it features the this is a hype. Yeah, it is a hype sticker. Features the hit single Good Lovin'. Also cool covers of Bob Dylan's Like a Rolling Stone and cover of Mustang Sally. Alright, now we're getting into the Z's and we're gonna wrap this video up. Sorry, we're a little long. Not longer than usual, I do. Usually cut them between 20 to 25 minutes. This looks like it's gonna end up around a half hour, maybe longer. Alright, so the Z's. Frank Zappa and the Mothers. Roni In It for the Money. The outside cover, this is the original copy for Records. And you can also fold it over and use the Sgt. Pepper's parody cover. Great album. Which is in, this vinyl is in really good shape. Just gonna show it off there. One of my favorite early Zappa albums. Really cool, psychedelic, even though he wasn't meant to be psychedelic. Zappa was always a straight edge kind of guy. You got Jimmy Carl Black, the Indian in the group, on the cover there. Really cool stuff. And then one of my favorite albums of all time, Hot Rats by Frank Zappa. This is just credit to Frank Zappa solo, although Captain Beefheart is featured on here on Willie the Pimp, but Peaches and Regalia, which opens it, is one of my favorite instrumentals of all time. Well, it is my favorite instrumental of all time. Such a cool cover. I mean, it's kind of eerily psychedelic. I just love the way the pink goes. I added this on the t-shirt. Gatefold. Released in 1969. I mean, one of Zappa's greatest albums. Released under his Bizarre label. Next up, we have Overnight Sensation, probably Zappa's most accessible album. Camarillo Billow, On the Slime, Dirty Love, 50/50, Zombie Wolf, Dynamo Hum, and ends with the phenomenal Montana. Another great album, Zappa, a little bit of Damage I have down there. Zoo Dolores, great guitar work on here, especially on Black Napkins, which I feel like is his best guitar work on this album. Great guitarist, Zappa. Disco Boys on here, and ends it. And this is the first album by Frank Zappa that I owned and that got me into Zappa. Joe's Garage, this is part 1. The title track, Joe's Garage, is great. Catholic Girls is great. Crew Slut, Why Does It Hurt When I Pee? Hilarious, but a great piece of music. The vocals on there are just amazing. Like Willis. Next we have my favorite ZZ Top album, Tres Hombres. This is ZZ Top's 3rd album, and the album that really put them, had them take notice. Features the great track Lagrange, Jesus Just Left for Chicago, Wait for the Bus, Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers, Hot Blue and Righteous, Master of Sparks. And then last one I have, Fandango. Basically, it's a combination of live tracks and studio tracks. Features a cover of Jailhouse Rock, the Backdoor Medley, and the huge hit Tush. Heard on the X is on here also, and fortunately Dusty Hill just died a few days ago, so rest in peace, Dusty. Okay everyone, that wraps up my vinyl collection video series. Thank everyone for watching, and I'll catch you up with the next video where I'll probably go back to ranking some certain bands or genres. Alright everyone, thanks for watching.